excited for you to be here today. This is our 4th annual celebration of Let's Move Cities, Towns, and Counties in conjunction with the Congress of Cities. We've been doing this now for several years. We love the enthusiasm. We love to recognize all the hard work, and we all know how hard this work is locally. So we couldn't be more pleased to have so many people here today. As part of our agenda today, we're going to have our NLC president and Mayor of Salt Lake City, Ralph Becker, with us in just a few minutes to provide some welcome remarks. We're also really excited to have a couple other speakers with us. Anina Burns, who is a great colleague and champion in her own right. She was just departing from the White House, from the First Lady's office, works in the Let's Move office, and is going back to her home base, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And so we're really excited that she could join us, and you'll see she is very pregnant, so even more delighted that she was able to come here. I think it's a testament to show her dedication and leadership in this area. We also have Mayor Madeline Rajero with us from Knoxville, who is going to tell you a little bit about what's happening in Knoxville. Very exciting activities, and she has been a tremendous leader and champion in making her city a much livable city. And then the fun really begins. We'll be able to celebrate all of you. Our executive director of the Institute for Youth Education and Families at NLC, Cliff Johnson, will be with us up here recognizing you all. I'm going to go ahead and just continue in our day. We were going to have Mayor Becker start us off, but I'm going to kind of, I'm going to see if we can get, yes. Elena, I think that on the speaker box from the first session, the top left corner, there's a button. I think if you turn it up, that's what worked earlier today, so we'll see if that works. So I actually am going to transition and invite Anina to come up to the stage. As I mentioned, she's been working at the White House. She's a registered dietitian, has been an incredible asset nationally when it comes to nutrition policy, and she has really enjoyed working with us, and we've enjoyed working with her on Let's Move Cities, Towns, and Counties. So please help me welcome Anina Burns.
Thank you, Tracy. Is that any better, or a little bit better? Okay. Thank you, Tracy, for that kind introduction. As Tracy mentioned, I work with the First Lady's office at Let's Move and was Associate Director for Policy. I literally just transitioned this past week back to CDC, but I'm continuing my transition with her. I was part of planning the Let's Move Cities, Towns, and Counties event, and I work with all the sub-initiatives. So for those of you who are there at the White House on September 16th, that was part of our office and part of an event that we put on. I'm really pleased to be here today, but I just want to first start out with a thank you, an acknowledgement for how much effort it takes to really make all of this work possible, which many of you are aware of. First and foremost, I want to thank Tracy and Elena for their tremendous staff supports. Of course, I don't think either of them heard me because they're both working. But actually, I work with 10 different sub-initiatives as part of Let's Move, and I can tell you what makes it really work and what makes Let's Move Cities, Towns, and Counties really work is a tremendous support you have from National League of Cities connecting with HHS. And the fact that they've been at this for so long and they know each of you personally. They call you by name. I was at the event earlier on the obesity training session. They know exactly about your communities, what your issues are, so that is really key, so thank you. I also want to thank my colleagues at Health and Human Services. So as you know, we have 10 regional offices as part of Health and Human Services, and each of those has a regional director that supports Let's Move Cities, Towns, and Counties and providing technical support to your communities and your staff, advising you on what you could do for your particular community, what fits your model, who else is working on a particular issue, and connecting you to them. And that's a pretty remarkable thing to have. And I'd like to thank Clarence Anthony and NLC President Salt Lake City Mayor Ralph Becker for their continued support. It's that relationship with the National League of Cities, with Let's Move Cities, Towns, and Counties, and with the White House Office of Let's Move and HHS that makes all of this possible. Everybody's working together. So as many of you know, childhood obesity is a major issue. and you've all been well versed in it. And over the past 3 decades, childhood obesity rates have tripled. How many of you have actually seen the CDC maps where it shows those colors changing? Okay, about half the room, but I need to make sure the other half the room actually sees them. They're pretty remarkable when you look at 3 decades and you see the changes over time. And when we track diseases at CDC, when we see those kind of changes within decades, we often are looking at infectious diseases. We're looking at viruses, we're looking at bacteria, we're looking at the flu. It's really rare to see a chronic disease change at that level, that it has changed. It was really that realization with those CDC maps that the public health community got galvanized and was able to get other supporters in place to say, this is a major issue that's going to transform our nation and not for the better, and we need to do something about it. So not only have childhood obesity rates tripled, but we also expect type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 Americans is expected to have type 2 diabetes in their lifetime now. That's a huge percentage of our population. And the main thing is it's completely preventable. Unlike type 1 diabetes, which is not preventable, type 2 is, through nutrition, physical activity, and basic lifestyle changes. And the lifelong health outcomes really are transformed for a family and for an individual that has type 2 diabetes. That's a serious consequence. It's a consequence of an environment, an environmental change. The good news is that we're making progress. It's not all bad news, as many of you now know. And that obesity levels, for the first time in this last survey that CDC did, are starting to level off among. And that's huge. You might think, well, hey, they're not going down. But leveling off takes a lot of work, and it takes sustained work by a lot of different sectors, including communities, to really change that environment to see that leveling off. And even better, we've seen a decline. In the 0 to 5 age group, we've actually seen a decline in some surveys by 40% in terms of early overweight and obesity. And that's huge for lifelong health outcomes. For children that are born overweight and in the early stages of their life are overweight, they have early stage liver disease, early stage heart disease. I mean, it's actually pretty serious. We hear all the time from clinicians and cardiologists, I don't want to see an 8-year-old with heart disease, but they do. The fact that we've been able to reduce those levels is a dramatic testament to the work that we've been able to work on collectively in childcare centers, in the environment, in schools, as well as making the healthy choice the easy choice. So in 2010, the First Lady set an ambitious goal to ensure that all kids and families could grow up healthy and pursue their dreams. And she has called on all of us, professionals, elected officials, parents, and members of our community to take action to meet that goal. Starting Let's Move was a really ambitious project, but you know what? We've come really far. And it's almost 6 years in February, we'll celebrate our 6th anniversary. And we have 10 different sub-initiatives that work on Let's Move across the country. Let's Move Cities, Towns, and Counties is one of them. We have Let's Move Indian Country, Let's Move Childcare, Let's Move Back to Schools. We have all these different sectors working really hard, and the whole purpose of it is to really combine the expertise and the financial support of federal agencies with the power of local elected officials, as well as those who work on the ground directly with children. And it's really galvanizing that to really move the needle forward on a number of issues. And we have been able to really move it. 1.6 million preschool children now attend a daycare center that's certified as a Let's Move childcare, which means that they actually eat healthier fruits and vegetables. They no longer have cookies in the childcare. They also have water instead of fruit juices. They have a set of criteria: physical activity, reduced screen time. 1.6 million children. That's a major change in 6 short years. 9 million kids now attend a school that actually has 60 minutes of physical activity a day. Through Let's Move Back to Schools, through partners that we were able to get funding for schools to provide that extra after-school activity time, since many school districts have cut PE time, and we know that physical activity is a key part of reducing obesity in the long run. And 30 million kids eat healthier school lunches and breakfasts. It's an incredible number, and that's the first change we've had in 30 years in the school lunch and breakfast program happen as part of the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act that was championed by the First Lady. And this year in September, we celebrated Let's Move Cities, Towns, and Counties at the White House. We have over 500 cities, towns, and counties that are Let's Move cities, towns, and counties that are committed to the goals of reducing childhood obesity within a generation. That's pretty remarkable. And the First Lady spoke to you directly to thank you for all of your hard work. But she also said something else. She said, this issue isn't over. And I'm not done with it either. She is committed to this issue for the long term, and she wanted me to share that directly with you. That she believes child health and the reduction of childhood obesity and the promotion of healthier families is an issue that needs to live beyond the administration. And she also thanked you for all of your hard work, because we know it's not an easy fight. We know that in many of your communities, you don't necessarily have immediate support for the ideas. But it takes that champion to move the needle to make it happen. And she was really appreciative, which is why she personally attended the event and personally spoke to all of you. So I'm here today to really acknowledge the commitment of local elected officials, because you're trusted leaders and role models in your community for all the work that you have done to make Let's Move cities, towns, and counties successful. And we realize that the local actions require actions by many, so your staff are a key support in that. And that's part of the reason when we had the White House event, we invited staff as well that work on the issue, because we want these issues and this work to carry on and to live beyond a particular administration, a particular term limit, and that it stays within the community. Just as the First Lady wants our work to live beyond the administration and carry on. So I'd also like to take a moment to congratulate the gold medal winners for accomplishing the gold medal status in all 5 areas. It's truly remarkable. And what we found is, one little change moves the needle, but it's that combination of changes to a healthy environment that really sets the stage. That's why we can start to see that leveling off in childhood obesity. That's how we can see that decline in early childhood obesity. And that's how we hope to reduce childhood obesity within the generation, which is the ultimate goal of this administration. So being a gold medal winner is an incredible success. Bronze and silver as well, but it's the idea that you keep moving forward, that the battle isn't over with 1 step, 2 steps, and even beyond being a gold medal winner. And I know that Tracy and Elena and National League of Cities and HHS is helping each of you figure out what more you could do. So on behalf of the First Lady, I want to thank you for all of your hard work and everything that you have done. And I want to continue to double down. That's exactly what she said. She said, double down. It's not over. Continue this hard work. The fight is still on. You're part of a movement. You're not just part of an activity or a program that's going to end with the administration. You're part of a movement that is going to carry on to make healthier communities and healthier places more accessible so that all children can grow up to live to their true health outcomes and their true potential. Thank you.
Thank you, Anina. And Anina referred to some of our numbers. So just to give you a sense of kind of where we are in this movement that we've created, right now we have 507 cities, towns, and counties that are participating and who have committed to this work. Through their work, they've been able to implement and adopt over 2,800 promising practices, which is pretty significant. The reach of the cities and towns and counties that are participating is 1 in 4 Americans now live within a city, town, or county that's participating in Let's Move. That's about 800 million Americans, which is pretty outstanding. What's great is we have representation in all 50 states, DC, and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. And shockingly, for the last couple of years, our colleagues from the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands have been able to come each year because they're so interested in this topic. I heard that, so I think it was Osner who said we should go visit them. Actually, they would love to have, oh, was it you? But they're always looking for help, and I think that's one thing that this initiative does too, is we have the ability to learn from our peers and connect with other neighboring cities or even cities halfway around the world. So in terms of today, this year, well, I should say total, we have 59 cities, towns, and counties who have reached 5 gold medals. Anina referred to them, which is a significant accomplishment. And today we're going to be recognizing the 36 cities, towns, and counties who made that distinction this year, as well as some special awardees, which we'll get to in a second. I'm now going to turn it over, and I'm delighted to welcome Mayor Rogero to come up to the stage and share with you what's been happening in Knoxville. So please help me welcome Mayor Rogero.
Well, thank you, Tracy, and thank you, Anina, and all of you who came out today for this. It's certainly my honor to be asked to share some of what we're doing in Knoxville. Any one of you could be up here because I know there are wonderful programs in all of our cities and towns and counties, so it's particularly an honor that I was invited to do that. You know, our work with Let's Move Cities, Towns, and Counties initiative, or let's call it the Let's Move movement, if that's okay, shorten it. Our work has certainly, our local work, thank you, has certainly benefited because of our association with Let's Move. You know, we have a commitment, we in the city and with our partners, to fight childhood obesity, and through our initiatives working together, we have seen progress. Let's Move has helped us galvanize our existing partnerships and to gain new ones throughout our city. And I have to say that our success has been driven, as Anina mentioned, it's always driven by great staff. You know, the mayors, we get to stand up there and brag about it. If you don't have great staff working on it, it's not going to happen. And I want to recognize Kathleen Gibby and our staff, who's fabulous. And also they're helping to get the word out. Jessie Mayshark, our communications director, is here as well. So, like many of you, we have obesity issues in our state and in our city. In the state of Tennessee, they estimate that the cost to treat obesity-related issues is about $2.5 billion. And among our 59,000 students in our county school system, Knox County, 38% were overweight or obese in 2009, the 9/10 school year. Today, we have reduced that number to 33%. So we're now in alignment with the national average, but as we know, we're not satisfied with that, and we need to keep addressing it and bringing that down. So Knoxville is actually positioned to be a very active outdoor city based on its geographic location and an abundance of natural resources that literally lure you out of your house and business and lure you outside and away from the computers. We are a mountain city and a river city. We're in the East Tennessee Valley in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, which is the most visited national park in our country's park system. We're also on the Tennessee River with multiple put-ins and takeouts, boat launches for canoes and kayaks and stand-up paddleboards. In fact, we keep increasing the number of launches that we have. We're located at the major intersection of I-75, which goes north-south, and I-40 that goes east-west, and pretty close to I-81 as well. So outdoor tourism in Tennessee is about an $8 billion industry. So in Knoxville, we are very intentional about developing our programs so that, so that we can share in those numbers and help grow those numbers in our state. So because we know that outdoor recreation is not just a healthy city strategy, not just a strategy to get our folks, our people, and our kids healthy, but also it's an economic strategy as well. So we have many partners that I'm going to talk about, and one is Legacy Parks Foundation. Legacy Parks Foundation began what they call the Outdoor Knoxville initiative, and part of that includes an Outdoor Knoxville Adventure Center. The whole idea is to be the place to go to learn all about the opportunities in our area, in our city and region, to do all kinds of outdoor recreational sports. The Adventure Centers, you can see the building there, that's actually a city facility. We've given them a very favorable lease. It's located on the Tennessee River with access to the river and to an 18-mile downtown greenway system. So it's very easy to get right onto the greenway. The Outdoor Adventure Center serves as a welcome center to learn about all of things happening outdoors in our area. There's a contractor named Billy Lush Brands, and they run a rental store there. So you can go there to rent a canoe or a stand-up paddleboard, kayaks, and bicycles. It's geared towards beginners, but it also serves outdoor experts as well. At the center, they host and encourage and promote all kinds of outdoor programming and have quite a few meetings hosted there as well to spread the word. Knoxville's Tourism Bureau, which is called Visit Knoxville, works with them, and which they have an office on location there. They share a website, and soon we expect to have a bike share program there. So they actually host through this Outdoor Knoxville Adventure Initiative. They have an Outdoor Knox Fest every year, which is a 3-day festival with all kinds of activities, outdoor activities for people of all different abilities and ages. We really try to get everybody out, not just the young folks that are very athletic. We want everybody to get out there and to get outside. So another initiative of Legacy Parks Foundation, what really started with them, is something that they envisioned and branded as our urban wilderness. This links about 1,000 acres in South Knoxville. Now they envisioned it, they branded the idea, but the city, the county, numerous partners, I'm gonna mention some of them, are part of this. So with 1,000 acres, which is across the river from downtown, really includes about 10 city parks. It has 2 water-filled quarries where people can swim or boat, the Iams Nature Center, and about 50 miles of trails. These are the natural trails that were built by volunteer labor. Our public service department gets in there and helps a lot. But we have Appalachian Mountain Bike Club members who literally with their blood, sweat, and tears, and many cases of beer, have built 50 miles of trails, if you can imagine that. They tell me there's more beer than tears, so, it's really a fabulous partnership. And if you see them get out there and build those trails, it's unbelievable. So Knoxville, we also have a Civil War heritage. We mostly sided with the Union, and there are 4 battlefield loops. I mean, there's 4 Civil War sites, and so that's a big tourism thing today, is to follow all of the Civil War heritage there. And so we actually have envisioned a battlefield loop where you can get to all 4 as well, and this is all part of this urban wilderness, and you learn the history in addition to encouraging fitness and access to nature. It's also taken off with private land easements. These 50 miles, some of them are on city or publicly owned property, but many of those miles are also on private land. We have lots of people moving into South Knoxville to buy property, to fix up these old houses, these old farms, and then they grant private easements so that the trails can go through. In fact, our real estate agents promote houses in South Knoxville as being close to the urban wilderness and to the trails. Also, there's an asset, we have Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency has a big wildlife management area, which is about 330 acres that is a part of this wilderness. So because of all of this, we received the 2013 National Trails designation for the South Loop Trail of our urban wilderness. And also Reuters named Knoxville as one of the top 10 U.S. destinations to go to in the month of October because of our urban wilderness and some of the beauty in there with the changing leaves and such. So, now let me go on and move on to another great partner. So Iams Nature Center. This is another great resource that we have in the urban wilderness. Though some of our recent outdoor developments have put Knoxville on the map as an outdoor city, actually the Iams Nature Center has been around for about 150 years. There are 300 acres, and it's just 3 miles from downtown. There are 15 miles of trails there, and the land is actually owned by the city, but it's managed by a nonprofit board of directors, and some of the land is owned by Knox County as well. So if you go to Iams Nature Center, you can bicycle, you can paddle. They're on the quarry there. You can climb. We have there's cliffs there that you can climb, And there's also a bouldering course, a lot of boulders there, and you can, I've not done that one yet, but there's some people out there. It's something I have to aspire to. And that's at the former marble quarry that is there. There's also a 100-yard Tennessee River boardwalk. There's a ropes course. And we like to get our kids out, the Boys and Girls Club, they get them out in the summer have camps there, so they get out and enjoy the outdoors. IAMS Nature Center also sponsors our river rescue every year, which is a river cleanup. And they have a river rangers program where high school students learn water quality, they clean up creeks, and they go on canoe rides. So all of this to get kids out and to get active. It also helps them become more aware of the whole issues of sustainability and of conservation of our environment as well. So let's talk about our greenways infrastructure. This is something, all of this ties in together with our initiative for Let's Move. We have about 85 miles of greenways and trails within our city limits. We have a great signage that's there so people know where they are, where the greenway is. We have the Knoxville Track Club actually puts mile markers up on every city greenway mile. Back about 3 years ago, we started our police department has a greenway patrol unit, so they're out there. You can see me there with some of our guys on bikes. We reinstated our Greenways Commission. It had been dormant for about 10 years. Our bus system, we call it CAT, the Knoxville Area Transit. They have a CAT to Greenways program where they show you where they have a map of the greenways. They show you where the bus stops are. They get you to the trails. And of course you can put your bike on the buses or the trolleys at no charge. We also, Google Trekkers. Anyone had Google Trekker come to their community? I see a few. So we had volunteers who actually put on the cameras, it's like on a backpack, and they walked every single mile, not just the city greenways, but the trails in the urban wilderness. So now you can actually go online. If you want to check out a trail, you can go online and actually see it visually before you go to walk it yourself. So another initiative that as part of our Childhood Obesity Coalition that they initiated, and that coalition is managed by our East Tennessee Children's Hospital, is a program called Kids Can Bike. What we've done is through a number of partners, we've been able to purchase 40 bicycles and a trailer, and this is really targeted to 3rd and 4th graders. And we take them out to our police department, our safety city, and they're taught pedestrians, they were taken through on the pedestrian safety course. They're taught how to ride the bikes and how to do it safely before we take them out on a ride. Every kid gets a free water bottle to promote drinking water, and they get a free helmet to promote safety, and healthy snacks at every ride. And speaking of healthy snacks, we've also partnered with a number of local groups to make sure that our kids at our recreation centers are getting healthy snacks every day in their after-school program at our 12 recreation centers. We serve about 850 to 1,000 kids in the after-school program. They range from 6 to 12 years old, and some are WIC and SNAP recipients. So the Healthy Snacks program was developed in partnership with our health department, and we call it NEAT, which stands for Nutrition, Education, Activity, Training. More than 65,000 snacks and meals are served through these programs, through this program annually. Our Community Action Committee provides food for free, and food content is selected under the guidance of the health department. So we're excited to be one of the cities that received the 5 gold medals, and so we make sure that we let people know that. We had a press conference here when we announced that, and it's one of the few times where we see the county mayor, the city mayor, the director of Parks and Recreation, myself, our superintendent of our schools, and the head of our health department all there together, excited and wanting to let the community know the progress that we're making with our kids. We also had an opportunity to go to the White House with the First Lady was there at a panel back in July of 2013 to talk about our progress that we we're making. So now, because so many of us have achieved the 5 gold medals, we began to ask, is there something else we can do? What's next after the 5 gold medals? So the League of Cities and the Let's Move program came up with the All-Stars initiative. So 8 strategies are offered, and the city, you have to pick at least 4 of those strategies, right? How many of y'all are doing the All-Stars now? Great, yeah, a lot of us, okay. So these are the ones we picked. We wanted to be a bicycle-friendly community. Now, we're already at the bronze level from the League of American Bicyclists. We're already there, but we want to be at the gold level. So we've recently partnered with the Transportation Planning Organization, which is our MPO, and our Bike Walk Knoxville group to hold our first ever, what we called Open Streets event, Open Streets Knoxville. It's like a ciclovia, right? It was a mile long, it was fabulous, and everybody tweeted and Facebooked and said, let's do this every weekend. They have no idea what it takes to close a street and, all the police, all the stuff you have to do, but it was fabulous. People walked, they biked, they skateboarded, they skipped, we had dancing in the street, exercises and all like that. So it was a great thing. We also, back 3 years ago, I created a new position called an Alternative Transportation Coordinator. And it's in the engineering department. And his job is to work with all of our departments to make sure that whatever we're doing, that we are thinking of alternative transportation, increasing our walkability, and of course transit, walkability, and bicycling. And in fact, we've adopted a complete streets policy as well for our city. We have just completed a bicycle facilities plan. And I put $1 million in our budget this year. Had been like $60,000 for a number of years. Now we have $1 million in our budget to promote our, to improve bicycle facilities. We're also continuing to work on our design guidelines, and we're finishing a greenways feasibility study to identify, we have a lot of greenways, but now we have to make the connections so that you can really go all throughout our city. Now you go to one greenway or the other. So this is the hard part, making all of those connections, but we're continuing that along with our open streets policy to affect our design guidelines. The farmers markets, I'm sure you all have farmers markets. We have, actually we are tracking where they are, providing maps. Some of these are public property, some are our property, some are other locations, but it's something that's really gaining steam in Knoxville. And we actually just changed some of our zoning. Strangely, some of our zoning, and yours may be the same, did not allow for some of the community gardens on some properties. So we had to look at that and make regulation changes. And community gardens, again, we are promoting this with our kids and our after-school programs. And we have a public facility called Beardsley Farms, which is a nonprofit that is on city property, and they promote composting and beekeeping and gardening, and we get our kids out there to learn more about that. So we have found Let's Move to be a great initiative for us, a great way to bring all the partners together it's really something that brings our desire for a healthier community and a more sustainable community. All of these policies kind of seem to overlap, right? Once you get into it, you can really achieve a lot of your city goals through the Let's Move program. So we look forward to continuing to work with the League of Cities, with the White House, and with all of you to promote this program. Thank you.
So I think it's a great example of not only what Knoxville is doing in terms of really lifting up and utilizing its natural resources, but their assets as well, whether it's their partners, the city's leadership, or other partners that are involved. And it was reminding me, it's, I think, a good segue into the award portion of our schedule, because I think it gives us an opportunity to really acknowledge all the great work that's happening locally, because all of the work that you're doing is really leveraging what's happening, really responding to the needs of what's needed in your community and doing it in your unique way. So it gives us an opportunity to help recognize you all. So with that, I'm going to turn us over to now the award portion of the day, and I'm going to ask Cliff to come up and join me. And so what we're going to do is, as I read the names, we'll have you come up, receive your award. And Jason, if you don't mind taking a photo of folks here, that would be great. Thank you. So as I mentioned, we have 56 cities, towns, and counties who have received 5 gold medals in all of the goal areas. And so we're going to recognize 36 this year. So first, I would like to call up from Allentown, Pennsylvania, Tina Amato, who is the Nutrition and Physical Activity Manager. So. From Anchorage, Alaska, I'd like to ask Assembly Vice Chair L.V. Gray Jackson to the stage. From Chicago, Illinois, I'd like to ask Alderman Joe Moore to come up to the stage. I'd like.
Okay. If not.
And the good news is we'll be able to get you these photos from Jason. So I'd like to call up from East Orange, New Jersey, Acting Director of Recreation and Culture Affairs, Osner Charles. From a little ways down the street, from Evanston, Illinois, Alderperson Jane Grover, who's accepting the award on the city's behalf. From Gaithersburg, Maryland, Councilmember Mike Sesma. I love the love in the room.
Hey, yeah.
Joe. All right.
From Green Acres, Florida, please come to the stage, Mayor Samuel Ferreri.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks again.
Councilmember Michael Gomez from Hawaiian Gardens, California is here. From Hernando, Mississippi, Mayor Chip Johnson.
Let me get you now. 1, 2, and smile.
On behalf of the city of High Point, North Carolina, we have Councilmember Jeff Golden accepting the award. From Independence, Missouri, we'd like to call up Mayor Eileen Weir. And being from Kansas City, and because I have the mic, go Royals.
We have a lot to celebrate this week.
Yes. From Lafayette, Alabama, Councilmember Tammy Williams. On behalf of the city of McAllen, Texas, we have Commissioner Veronica Whitaker accepting the award. Joe, you've been replaced, it looks like.
Thank you, thank you.
From Mercer Island, Washington, accepting on behalf of the city is Recreation Superintendent Diane Mortensen. From Mountain View, California, we have Mayor John McAllister and Councilmember Mike Kasperzak accepting the award.
You want me in the middle?
Sure.
Yes.
I'm gonna hold this.
We didn't know we had so many friends.
All right. From New Bedford, Massachusetts.
Excellent.
From New Bedford, Massachusetts, accepting on the behalf of the city, our council members Joe Lopez and Steve Martins. From Norfolk, Virginia, we are pleased to have Vice Mayor Angelia Williams and Councilwoman Mamie Johnson with us today. Oh, smart. On behalf of the city of North Miami, Florida, we have Councilmember Alex DeZoom accepting the award. From O'Fallon, Missouri, we have Mayor Bill Hennessy. From Pico Rivera, California, accepting the award on the city's behalf is Mayor Pro Tem David Armenta. On behalf of the city of Prattville, Alabama, we have Mayor Bill Gillespie Jr. and Teresa Lee. From San Francisco, California, we have Supervisor Eric Marr. From Selma, Alabama, we are pleased to have Mayor George Evans and Jeannie Evans with us today. From South San Francisco, California, accepting on behalf of the city, we have Recreation Supervisor Kelly Jo Cullinan and Preschool Coordinator Laura Amanio. On behalf of the town of Baden, Mississippi, we have Sonia Stokes Greenleaf, City Clerk, here today to accept on the town's behalf. From Williamstown, Kentucky, please come to the stage, Mayor Rick Skinner. And we had a few communities who were not able to be with us today, but we will make sure that they receive their plaques. Baldwin Park, California, Buffalo, New York, Davenport, Iowa, Emmett, Idaho, Missoula County, Montana, Moscow, Idaho, Newport Richey, Florida, South Bend, Indiana, Tamaqua, Pennsylvania, and Upland, California. So you can see we have all parts of the country represented, which is pretty exciting. Big and small, which is outstanding. So please help me give everyone a round of applause. Something we started last year was having awards for local elected officials as well as city or county staff who have illustrated significant leadership, and we're excited to continue that tradition this year. This year we have 5 city leaders who will be accepting these awards. For the most dedicated local elected official award, we are recognizing 2 specific local elected officials who have taken impressive action in their own right locally. And although we are recognizing 2, I should point out that there was a lot of competition this year, which was pretty exciting to say the least. So I would like to call up Michael Gomez from Hawaiian Gardens. Under the council member's leadership as well as his team, through Activate Hawaiian Gardens, the city and partners have been able to reduce childhood obesity rates among a largely socio-economically disadvantaged Hispanic majority, which is pretty impressive. We'd also like to recognize McAllen, Texas Commissioner Veronica Whitaker. Among her many accomplishments, Commissioner Whitaker created the Run, Ride, and Share awareness program, and it has increased the miles of bike lanes and trails within McAllen. Congratulations. And finally, we'd like to give out the most dedicated city staff awards to 3 city employees who worked tirelessly within their own cities to really do incredible work. From Allentown, Pennsylvania, we'd like to honor Tina Amato. As the Nutrition and Physical Activity Manager, Tina leads the city's efforts on Let's Move and has brought a coalition of community stakeholders together to assure youth-serving programs provide a healthy environment for children. Next up, I'd like to call up Osner Charles from East Orange, New Jersey. He's the Acting Director of Recreation and Culture Affairs. He recently saw the implementation of his city's after-school and summer meals program and has also facilitated trainings for child care providers on healthy food choices and limiting screen time in child care centers. And last but not least, we'd like to call up from Knoxville, Texas, Kathleen Gibby, who is the Public Affairs Specialist with the city. Kathleen has worked tirelessly to promote Knoxville's, I don't know why I can't speak right now, outdoor amenities, and has been a lead in planning Knoxville's annual Let's Move event. Please help me recognize our distinguished awardees. And finally, I would like to call up Elena Hofnagel, who is our Senior Associate on Let's Move Cities, Towns, and Counties, who has been a fabulous leader in her own right and our partner in crime on this initiative. So please, Elena, let's thank you.
Well, hi everyone. It's so great to see so many familiar faces in the room and so many people that I've been harassing with emails for the past few years. It's always great to get the chance to meet people in person. And I really just want to say thank you to all of you for your incredible hard work and dedication over the past few years. I remember we were in Seattle 2 years ago and we had 5 gold medalists at that point, and I think both Tracy and I thought, okay, well, maybe this is only an honor that, a few cities are ever able to reach. And to now have 59 cities, towns, and counties all across the country, in every region of the country, that have hit 5 gold medals it's a huge achievement for us, and we couldn't have done it without the incredible work that all of you have done in cities across the country. And I also just want to say a special thank you. We have a lot of local elected officials in the room, but I also want to recognize the city staff that are in the room. And elected officials can show incredible leadership, but many times it comes to city staff to actually do the grunt work and get things done. So I just want to recognize all of the city staff that have been behind this initiative. And I also want to say that please don't stop here. There's a lot of work left to be done. As was mentioned earlier, we now have the 8 all-star strategies, which is kind of a new set of challenging activities for cities once they've accomplished the 5 goal areas. And so we're really, really excited to help cities continue to address childhood obesity in their communities with these all-star strategies. So don't hesitate to reach out to myself, Tracy, any of the HHS regional offices. We're here to help you, and we're here to help you continue this great work. So thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic rest of your conference, and a special thanks to everyone for coming out today.